Recent satellite images reveal that several U.S. warships, including the Iwo Jima and the San Antonio, have begun repositioning closer to Venezuela. This movement isn't being presented as an emergency or a crisis, but the timing and the type of ships involved immediately raise questions. Why these vessels? Why now? And what exactly is being prepared behind the scenes? When ships of this caliber move together, it's rarely by coincidence. Amphibious assault ships are not the kind of tools you casually shift around the map. Their presence signals that Washington wants flexibility and readiness, the ability to respond quickly to developments on the ground, and that alone is enough to place the entire region on alert. Today we're going to explore what this deployment means, what these ships can actually do, how a real operation could unfold, and why this moment is attracting so much international attention. The situation is evolving, the pieces are moving, and the picture that is forming deserves a closer look. To understand the significance of this deployment, it's essential to understand what these ships are built for. The Iwo Jima is a Wasp-class amphibious assault ship, effectively a hybrid between a small aircraft carrier and a floating base for Marines. It can launch helicopters, tilt-rotor aircraft, and jets capable of short takeoff operations. It carries command centers, medical facilities, and enough space for hundreds of Marines and their equipment. One of its most important features is the well deck, a large internal bay that can be flooded to deploy landing craft air cushion, high-speed hovercraft that carry vehicles, supplies, and personnel directly onto a shoreline. These platforms allow forces to bypass ports entirely and move inland with impressive speed. The San Antonio, although different in design, complements the Iwo Jima perfectly. It's a transport dock that carries additional troops, vehicles, and aircraft, and it expands the logistical reach of any amphibious group it joins. Together, these two ships form a mobile, flexible force capable of launching operations from sea to land with relatively little warning. This combination is precisely why analysts are paying close attention. A group like this represents far more than a symbolic presence. It represents the ability to act decisively if a situation requires it. If an operation were ever ordered, and to be clear, there is no confirmation that one will be, the capabilities currently positioned in the region provide several possible courses of action. An amphibious landing, for example, could involve landing craft air cushion, leaving the well decks, and heading toward designated coastal areas, carrying Marines and equipment ready to secure key points. While that happens, aircraft such as the MV-22 Osprey could fly deeper inland to insert additional units, conduct reconnaissance, or secure critical terrain. The value of these ships comes from how well they integrate different domains. Air assets, ground forces, and sea platforms can work together as a single, coordinated system. This makes the initial hours of any operation extremely fast and difficult to predict from the outside. Even without an actual landing, the mere presence of these capabilities forces any potential adversary to prepare for a wide range of possibilities. A possible air component adds another layer of complexity. In recent weeks, U.S. Air Force bombers such as the B-52 have been conducting flights near Venezuelan airspace as part of their training routes. While these missions are always described as routine, their timing in relation to naval movements is hard to ignore. Bombers of this type can support operations from long range, conducting precision strikes or demonstrating deterrence without the need for bases nearby. The combination of strategic aviation and an amphibious force at sea gives decision-makers in Washington a spectrum of options, from highly visible demonstrations of power to more precise and limited actions. This raises a natural question. Are these flights meant solely for training, or are they part of a broader message about the reach and readiness of U.S. forces in the region? Another aspect worth considering is the role of special operations forces. Amphibious ships often serve as platforms for small, highly trained units that can conduct surveillance, targeted missions, and other discrete activities. Their presence provides the ability to carry out precision operations without the visibility of a large-scale action. In many modern scenarios, special operations come first, shaping conditions for anything that may follow. Although we don't have public information about specific teams in the area, the assets currently deployed are exactly the kind that typically support those missions. This adds another uncertain but important factor to the overall picture. Beyond amphibious and air operations, U.S. warships can also conduct precision strikes from the sea, using their own onboard systems. Destroyers and cruisers often carry long-range missiles capable of engaging a variety of targets. When combined with aircraft carriers or aviation-capable ships like the Iwo Jima, this creates a layered force structure with significant reach. The advantage of these naval platforms is that they don't require permission to operate from foreign territory. They can remain offshore, reposition quickly, and adapt to changing conditions without crossing international borders. This flexibility makes them invaluable in situations where diplomacy, tension, and uncertainty coexist. At this point, nothing indicates that an attack is imminent, but the pattern of movements, combined with the capabilities brought into the region, creates a moment that deserves careful observation. The presence of amphibious assault ships, strategic aircraft, and special operations support suggests that Washington wants the ability to respond to multiple scenarios without delay. Whether this remains a show of force or becomes something more substantial will depend on decisions being made far from the public eye. For now, all we can do is watch how the pieces continue to align and ask ourselves the question that hangs over the entire situation. Is this deployment simply precautionary, or is it preparing the ground for a larger chapter that has yet to unfold? Thank you for watching this video and staying with me until the end. Movements like these don't happen every day, and they raise important questions about what might be unfolding just beyond the horizon. So let me leave you with this. What do you think about these developments? Do these deployments seem like routine security operations to you, or do you believe something larger is being prepared? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective helps build this community, and together we can follow this situation as it continues to evolve. If you found this breakdown useful, feel free to subscribe and stay tuned. There's a lot more to come.